We're going hand in microphone this week. Feeling crazy. This video is for people who feel like they are not where they want to be. If you went up to any stranger in the world and asked them if they were 100% satisfied with where they were in life, be it financially, health, or relationships, you'd probably get a surprising amount of people that said no, they are not happy with where they are. And the question then becomes why? Why aren't they happy with where they're at? Why don't they feel like they're where they should be at? And what is stopping them from being there? As a business owner and as a creative, this was an endless cycle for me. I never felt like I was where I needed to be or where I should be. And regardless of what I did or what I was doing, it never really felt like I was making great progress towards that goal, whatever that goal even is, because I probably didn't even know what it was. And so through a lot of reflection and improvement, I have learned at least what has worked for me to at least feel and actually make progress towards where I want to be. And it's broken up into 4 different steps. And in this week's video, I want to candidly go over each step and how you can do it for yourself. Step 1 is reflection and honesty. If you would be real with me for a minute here, chances are you are not being honest with yourself and what you are doing and where you are at. What do I mean by that? In the example of a business, if our business is not where we want it to be, are we really being honest with ourselves and putting our energy where we know it needs to go? If you are a photographer and you're struggling to find clients, are you really doing everything you can to get more clients, or are you kind of just waiting for them to appear? If you're unhappy with your health, are you making time to work out, or are you constantly making excuses for why you can't? I can't wake up early because then I won't, have the energy all day. Well, you're not gonna have the energy all day if you're not healthy, so why does it matter? But the lesson here is, are you actually being honest with yourself and truly reflecting on what is stopping you from being and feeling like you're doing and where you need to be? Because chances are, most of the time, what's stopping us is ourselves. It's not some external thing. External forces only have so much power over us, and chances are the things that we want to achieve are entirely within our control, whether that's better relationships. Maybe your relationship with your spouse is just struggling. Are you doing everything in your power to actually see what's going wrong and trying to improve upon it? Health, are you actually making time to go to the gym? Are you actually trying to have a better diet? Your business, are you doing as much as you can to actually increase revenue, get in front of more people? Like, could you talk to more people? Step 1 that overhangs above everything else and is as top of funnel to feeling like where you need to be is self-reflection and honesty. Without acknowledging where we are falling short, we can't improve upon where we are falling short. If you can't admit to yourself that you can be better, you will never be better, because you will never be able to find the things that it takes to be better. Step 2 of this process is to find your why, your extreme resolve, the thing that's actually going to keep you going. I used to run a cohort, and back when I would run the cohort, I would always ask the students the same question: why? Why are they doing what they're doing? Or why do they want to do what they want to do? And after they'd answered, I asked why to that. And then they would answer, and I would ask why again and again and again. And the whole point of the activity or the lesson was to dive deep into what actually motivates us. For example, if we want to get in shape, or if we want to make a lot of money, let's use the example of money. If we want to make a lot of money, I might ask you, well, why do you want to make $100,000 a year? And they would be like, well, because that would be, more money than I've ever made. And it's like, well, why do you care about that? And it's like, well, because then I wouldn't feel the stress of not having enough money. And it's like, well, why does that matter? Why does it matter if you don't have enough money? And it's like, oh, well, then I can't travel. And it's like, oh, you want to travel. Why do you want to travel? And as you go down this rabbit hole of asking why, you begin to find and discover the core of your motivation. And the reason why that's so important is because once you know the core, the base, the big why as to what you want to do and what you're doing, it becomes a lot harder to not do the thing. If I attach sales calls or getting in front of more potential clients every single week, if I can attach that to something like finding fulfillment through traveling the world, it's going to be a lot harder to make an excuse not to do those things. Same thing that goes for like fitness. If I can attach being healthy because I want to be a great grandfather and be around for my great grandkids, it's a lot harder to make an excuse not to go to the gym when the thing that's on the line is being alive long enough to see your kin. So really asking yourself why and getting to the core of what you want to do is step 2, and almost equally as important as self-reflection, because when you can identify your why, you can actually begin to do step 3, which is making a plan to actually accomplish and do the things you want to do. One of the biggest issues that I see with people that I talk to in my audience a lot is they have goals and they have big goals, but they have no way of actually accomplishing those goals. They don't even know where to start. I was in the same boat. I wanted to have this big content agency, or I wanted to have this big company making photos and doing videos, but I didn't even know what step 1 was. And the reason for that most of the time is because these goals that we have are very arbitrary. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're very not tangible. They're not real things. They're not something that can be tracked, right? Like, I want to make a lot of money. Okay, how do I know if I'm on track to making a lot of money? It's impossible. You can't actually gauge your progress if the goal is not a tangible goal. And so when it comes to making a plan, the step 1 is to identify the specific goal and the outcomes that you want from it. So it's not, I want to run more. It's, I want to be able to run a marathon in 6 months. And by doing this, I will be running 5 days a week on average. It's numbers, it's specific, it's an actual goal. And to be honest, I think the reason why most people don't do this is because when you attach numbers and dates to things, they become real, right? Like if my goal is, I just want to run a marathon. Well, I can just keep pushing that off because I didn't tell you when I was going to run it. I just said I was going to run one. I am a victim to this as well. I always say that I want to compete in an Ironman, but I've never signed up for an Ironman. And that could easily be overcome by just signing up for the thing. You can do this by actually committing to the thing, like signing up for the race. You can also do this by telling people around you that you're going to do this thing. This can be, this works really great for revenue goals, for fitness goals. So literally telling someone, hey, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in the next 12 months. Maybe that's a crazy goal. I don't know. But the whole point being is to give yourself a tangible goal with a specific outcome. Arbitrary goals create arbitrary timelines and arbitrary outcomes. You can't actually track progress and you can keep pushing it off into the future. So make a plan by making an actual tangible goal. From that, you can actually break it down and give yourself actual steps. If you want to run a marathon, that can literally be a training plan. So week 1, you're running this day, this day, this day. Week 2, you're doing this, this, and this. When it comes to revenue goals, it means, I know that I need this many visitors to my website. And to do that, I need to post this many pieces of content a week. And I need to get this many impressions and this many clicks. When you put a number and a date to it, you can actually give yourself actionable items to accomplish the goal. And if it goes well or if it doesn't go well, you can pivot and adjust accordingly. Which leads to step 4 and the final step, which is being able to adjust accordingly, aka being able to pivot. When we create a goal, it's very easy to get very fixated on that goal. And when we create a plan to accomplish that goal, it's very easy to get fixated upon that plan to accomplish that goal, right? Like if we've always been doing something a certain way and it's always worked for us, it's very hard for us to ditch that way and do something else. But in this era that we live in and just life as a whole, it's always changing. Things that worked a week ago might not work now. Your motivation that had you to start running might not be the same motivation that works in 6 months. You're going to be a lot more motivated to start running in the first month after reading a David Goggins book than you are 3 months later. I fell into this trap too. 2 years ago, I read a David Goggins book, decided I was going to run a marathon or a half marathon, and I was an absolute animal for like 3 weeks. I ran like crazy. I missed one weekend and suddenly I lost my motivation. I was able to silence the voices in my head from the book because it was so far gone. My motivations changed. And to add on to that too, I didn't actually sign up for a race, which made the motivation even less. So basically, being able to adjust and pivot your approach will make you much more effective when life throws curveballs, when things in your business change, when trends on social media adjust. Being open-minded and not getting too stuck into a certain pattern will allow you to be much more effective long-term and stick to these things and actually change your life and make you feel like you are where you need to be. So yeah, that's my quick rant on how to actually feel like you are where you want to be. It's very easy to get in this mindset of thinking that we're not where we want to be, like life is this race. And usually this can be solved by just taking action. If there's one thing you take away from this video today, I want it to be to take action. Action is the remedy to everything. It tells you everything you need to know. Action will remove stress because it will give you something to actually do. So much of our stress in life is caused by not knowing what to do. And so we end up doing nothing. Where if we just do something, it doesn't even matter what it is, even if it's horrible. If we just, well, horrible in relation to the progress we'll make, it will tell you what you need to do. And we will just simply feel better just by taking action, even if it didn't produce an incredible outcome. So the lesson here is to just take action. Stop hesitating. You don't feel like you're where you need to be because you probably are ignoring the thing that you just need to do, which is taking action. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I hoped it helped. I love making videos like this and giving my genuine advice, I suppose, from my experiences. So if you guys do enjoy these videos, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Until next week, see you soon. Got to do the little intro, pretending like I'm making sure everything looks right on camera. I already know it looks good on camera. I checked it before I hit record.